Today was Supernatural's last day of filming and I am emotional. I almost cried this morning when I saw all of their tweets and everything and their Instagram post about the last day, and Jensen and Jared have not posted anything about the last day, so I know when that happens I'm probably going to cry all day. But I figured I might as well do the fanfiction trope tier ranking, because the past 5-ish years I've been reading Supernatural fanfiction and I feel like it got me through a whole lot, and I just want to talk about my love for fanfiction, specifically Supernatural. I did read a couple other fandoms fanfiction also, but Supernatural has been my love for the past few years. But anyway, my name is Paige. Welcome to my channel, and yes, you just walked into my love of Supernatural. I'm so sorry for that, but I hope you love Supernatural too if you're watching this. And if you don't love Supernatural, that's okay. I hope that you have a fandom that you love just as much too. But I saw Books Past Bedtime do this tier ranking of fanfiction tropes a while ago, and then I saw, I don't know how to say it, Lit Nana, she just did it a couple of days ago, and it reminded me that I wanted to do this too. So I will link both of their videos down in the description if you want to go check them out, which you should. They were really awesome. But now I want to do this, and I write fanfiction as well, but I don't think I'm going to approach this in the would I write fanfiction like that, because there's a lot of things I wouldn't write. But I read pretty much anything. It's all I read for 5 years, so I've tried most all types of tropes for fanfiction. I wasn't very picky, but there are some things that I learned that I did not like. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I am joined by my cute little Supernatural friends, and yeah, here we go. Okay, so the first one is ABO, which is Alpha, Beta, Omega, and that's pretty much just werewolves. And I honestly love this. This is one of my favorite tropes. I don't really know why, there's just something about people being werewolf shifters that's really interesting to me. It's actually why I picked up Wolfsong by TJ Klune, because it was about werewolves and alphas and betas and omegas, and I was really interested in that, and I still just really love it. So yes, I will always read that. Next up is Amnesia fic, and they don't bother me. I don't really mind them. I feel like they end up getting really sad for a while because somebody doesn't remember the other person, and then usually it's like a kiss that brings all their memories back or something, and that just never really makes much sense. But I don't mind them. Sometimes they're nice. I like the angst in them. All right, then is angst, and I will always read angst. I love it, but I do need some fluff to go along with it. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and grab fluff and just move that all the way up there, because I need angst and fluff together. I can't just do straight angst. So then there is arranged marriage, and if I'm in the mood. The next one is baby fic, and I love babies, so I will always read anything with babies in them. Single dads, single moms, anything. Give me all the babies. Then there is sharing a bed, and who doesn't absolutely love sharing a bed? If they're like locked in a cabin in the middle of a snowstorm or a blizzard and they have to share one single bed, or if they accidentally are in a hotel room and they ask for 2 queens but they end up with 1 king, like, come on. Who doesn't love forced cuddles? Okay, the next one is bang or die, and maybe if I'm in the mood, usually that comes along with this one right here, which is a sex pollen, that like they get infected by some sort of flower that makes it so that they have to just get one out of their system. And so maybe if I'm in the mood. I don't usually read those very often, but if they pop up and they sound interesting enough, I might give it a try. Body swap. This is one I don't think I've tried very often, so I can't really give an opinion on that one. All right, coffee shop AUs. They're fine. They don't really bother me. They don't really do much for me. I think they're just kind of meh. They're simple. I've written one before and it wasn't my favorite thing to write, but it was like sweet enough. College AUs. I love writing these. I love reading these. I love seeing people in college times where they're like finally away from their parents. They're just getting to know themselves. It's very new adult. I love that. I love it. Okay, crack fics. Crack fics are more like very absurd stories that just take the characters and do wild things with them sometimes, and I don't love them very much just because I feel like a lot of the ones I've read take the characters very out of character. It amplifies their quirks too much that I feel like I'm not reading the characters that I love, so I don't really like these. If I see crack fic in a tag, I will scroll right past. Crossovers. I don't love them very much. The only ones I would ever cross over to would be the characters in Hogwarts. If I'm in the mood, I'll read it. Dark fics. I have a love-hate relationship with these. Sometimes they get too dark, and I think that some fanfiction authors take things too far and very unnecessarily. I still read them sometimes. It takes me being in a very specific mood. Maybe if I'm just feeling really dark and twisty, then I want to read them. Major character deaths. Who? No, unless they come back. Like in Supernatural, lots of characters come back after dying. So, as long as you undo the death for me, I'm fine with it. But just if you kill them and leave them dead, no, not for me. Canon divergence. Absolutely. All the time. Sometimes the writers in the shows or the books don't get it right, and you need to change things up a little bit and take them on a path that you wanted them to go on. Yes, of course. Enemies to lovers. I don't like enemies to lovers in general, but with fanfiction, I think it's a little bit different for me because I know the characters, I know why they do the things that they do because I've been so invested in them, and if you write them in character and have the same beliefs and morals, then I understand them a little bit more. So I think it doesn't bother me in fanfiction as much as it bothers me in regular books because you don't live with the characters as long. Established relationships, I really do like those. I don't need it all the time, but I really do love reading safe, healthy relationships where people are together and they just like live their lives and it's just all fluff and all happiness. Those are really nice to read. Fairy tale AUs are absolutely, I love anything fairy tale, historical, which I'm just gonna go ahead and take historical right up there too because I just love alternate universes with all of my fanfiction that I read. Fake relationships, I like them. Sometimes the angst gets a little too obnoxious towards the end and the conflict is kind of like, really? You guys are already in love. Can we just like continue being in love and not just have this conflict right now? But I don't mind them. So fix-it fics are when the writers of a story or a TV show or a movie just don't do it very well and you need to fix all of their mistakes. So I'm hoping I don't have to read too many fix-it fics for the end of Supernatural, but who knows, sometimes they've done us dirty. So I do like those a lot just because it helps heal my heart when the writers of the show have broken it. Friends to lovers. This is like number one for me. I absolutely love friends to lovers. There is something so safe and wholesome about people who already know each other and work from the foundation of friendship into becoming a romantic couple. I just love that dynamic so much. They are comfortable with each other already and now they're just expanding on what they already care about and love about each other. Genfic. I think this just means like general audiences, not very steamy. I like it. I like happiness, I like fluffiness. I don't always need the steam to read a story. I just want to read about the characters, and if the story sounds good enough, it doesn't matter if it's explicit or not. Hurt and comfort. Oh my goodness, I read a lot of fanfiction. Yes, I love hurt and comfort, especially if somebody like broke a leg and you're taking care of them, or I don't know why we're not doing this. What was I saying? I don't know why I love when one of the characters is like in immediate danger or gets hurt just enough that they like could be on the verge of death, and then the other person is like panicked and scared and like wants to take care of them. I love that. Don't know why. Maybe that's a me issue, but yes, I absolutely will always read that. High school AU, meh, doesn't really bother me. I don't like only reading them in high school, especially if things do get a little bit more explicit. I don't mind if it starts in high school and then they grow up and then things start to progress from there, but staying in high school the entire time is not my favorite. Huddle for warmth. Again, who doesn't like this? This is like sharing a bed if they're in the middle of a blizzard. Come on, this is like the best way to get them together. It's perfect. So the next one's humor, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, I like when humor is sprinkled in, but if it's just a comedy, I don't think that does it for me. But I do like seeing humor in my stories, so I like it, or it doesn't bother me. Okay, so the next one says in vino veritas, and I guess that means drunken love confessions. And maybe if I'm in the mood. I don't love when people have confessions when they are drunk, because then they forget about it and the other party is like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything because they don't remember anything, and then the person who's drunk always remembers what they said. But it just becomes a little too angsty and just a little not my favorite. First kiss, yes, how cute, but I just like it. It's not something I will always seek out. I'm not going to click on the tag for first kiss and find every first kiss story, but if it happens, like, oh, it's precious, I love it. Magic AUs. I don't know why these are very different than fairy tale ones, but yes, I will always read them. I like when, maybe, will I? Meh. I think I more like it. And that makes me wonder about fairy tales. I might need to bump those down till I like it. Historical is more where I like the most in my AUs. Magic, it's always in supernatural. If it's in canon, there's always magic in them, but if it's like, I don't know, this one's confusing to me. I think I like it. I think I'm just gonna stick it and like it. We're moving on. Miscommunication. Ooh, I think I like it. I don't love it in the books that I've been reading lately because sometimes you just want to scream at them and be like, why are we not talking about this? You are adults, you've talked about everything else, and you've done just great, just fine talking about everything. But now, no, we forget how to communicate. But I think it adds a lot to fan fictions. I think I contradict myself a lot. Fan fiction versus actual books. There's a big difference between what I am willing to compromise with. Missing scenes. Doesn't bother me. Mutual pining is always, will always. I love mutual pining. I might even bump it up a little bit more. It's just so angsty when they both care about each other and you're in either like point of view and you know how much they care about each other, but they just keep getting in their own way. Like, oh, I love it. Pregnancy fics. I love babies, so yes, I will always read these. I do seek them out often just because I want to see babies in stories. PWP, this is very steamy stories with or without plot. Sometimes people change what that W means, if it means with or without, and I like them. Not much else I'm gonna say. Royalty. Why are there so many different types of AUs? Yes, I do royalty AUs. I already said it. I love kings, queens, and whatever else they throw at me in those stories. I do seek those ones out. Slow burns. Absolutely always read these. Always. Oh my goodness. I feel like my love for fan fiction is just intense right now. Oh my goodness. Yes, I love slow burns. I love following them on their journey and seeing them fall in love. My favorite fanfiction that I have been following for 4 years took them 200,000 words before they finally confessed their feelings. So I do like a slow burn. Soulmate AUs. This is kind of similar to why I like alpha, beta, omega stories, is that there's something comforting in like knowing somebody else is meant for you. And I love that sweetness. I love that safety. I am very wholesome sometimes with what I need, and sometimes I just need soulmates. I need to know that they are going to end up together and that nothing's gonna get in the way. Time loops. What does this mean? Makes me think of the one Supernatural episode where Sam is living in the same Tuesday forever and ever and ever. But I don't think I've tried this as a fan fiction, so I'm gonna say haven't tried it. Love triangles. No. I read fan fiction for my OTP. I don't, unless it's a two-person love triangle, like, get the other person out of there. Not for me. Not for me. Unhappy endings. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm not here to be sad. I'm here to be happy and get all of the things that I've been missing from the show and just get my fill of all my characters. No, we're not leaving it unhappy. No. Unrequited love. No, these are terrible. I will not read unrequited love. No, that's not okay for me. They end up together. This is what I read fanfiction for, them ending up together. I think this is it. I think this is my ultimate ranking. I think now you know how much I love fanfiction and how much fanfiction I actually read. I love it so much. Sometimes I love it more than actual books, just because you get to be with characters that you care so much about. It means a lot to me, and I hope that this was fun for you to watch, and I hope that you don't judge me too hard for some of the things that I will always read, but it is what it is. We all have our different taste. I will link the tier ranking in the description if this is something that you would ever want to do also. Let me know if you agree with any of my will always reads. What are some of your will always read tropes? It doesn't have to be for fan fiction, it could be for any story, but I would love to read what you will always read. All right, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for sticking with me if you made it this long. Bye.